Hallo. So today we are going to be talking about German in informal and formal contexts. So there are basically two contexts, two ways that you can address another person in German. That's the sort of the informal way and in the formal way. Can talk later about the other structures that we use to denote informality versus formality. But a good place to start is with greetings and goodbyes, because there are greetings and goodbyes that are appropriate for the informal context and ones that are appropriate for the formal context. This way we can also talk about when you would use an informal form of address versus when you use a formal form of address. So here are the standard greetings for informal and formal form of address, and I'm going to talk a little bit about when you'd use which one. So for the sort of the most common form of address for informal settings is hallo, and the most common goodbye would then be tschüss. You will use these with friends, family, people you know well, as well as fellow students. So even if you don't know a fellow student particularly well, you will speak to them informally. The more formal greeting and goodbye is Guten Tag as the greeting, and Auf Wiedersehen is the goodbye. The contexts for formally addressing a person are you meet somebody in a shop, so talking to a person who's working at a store. If you are talking to a colleague in a workplace, or if you're talking to an authority figure, so a professor, teacher, someone like that. Or finally, if it's someone you're not close to, who's not a fellow student, so someone you don't know particularly well, then that is another case for the formal form of address. You can also negotiate. You can talk to a person. They can suggest that you begin to address one another informally, even if you would otherwise address each other formally. A good example of that would be if you're in a classroom setting at a university, and your professor would prefer that you said that you spoke informally with one another. So those are the two contexts for informal and formal forms of address in German, with a short introduction to their associated greetings. Auf Wiedersehen.